What's up guys, Julian Goldie here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about my top 5 content tips to rank your website higher with local SEO. Now, content is essential to your local SEO strategy, and if you don't get this right, then nothing else you do with local SEO is going to work, and that's why you need to keep watching. Now, before we jump in, please make sure you subscribe if you want more videos that will help you rank higher and increase your rankings with local SEO. So content tip number 1 is to make sure that you always reverse engineer what your competitors are doing to make sure that you create the right types of content. Now, what I mean by this is you need to see what are your competitors already doing, what are they doing that works, and how are they getting traffic already, so that you can figure out what's going to work for you. Now, you don't really have to do most of the hard work. All the research is already done for you if you check and reverse engineer what your competitors are doing. Now, how can you do this? Well, you can use a tool like Ahrefs, and you can basically plug in your top 10 competitors into Ahrefs and see what content are they creating right now, what's getting traffic right now, and how can you create better content than them. Now, the trick here is to figure out, right, what's the 80-20 rule? How can I get 80% of the results with 20% of the work simply by checking my competitors' content, seeing the top 10 or top 5 pieces that actually rank, and then going after those keywords. Now, what you can also do is search for your competitor on Google. You can type in site, insert the URL, so replace the URL after site, and then just check which pages are ranking on Google. So if you don't have a tool like Ahrefs, you can easily do this for free by manually searching through Google and seeing which pages are indexed on Google from their site. Either way, it's really important to check what your competitors are doing and figure out how can you do it better. Now, tip number 2 is to make sure you also do keyword research, because there may be keywords or content ideas that your competitors have missed but are great low-hanging fruit opportunities, but are awesome opportunities for you to rank your content. Now, how can you do this? Well, you could use a tool like Ahrefs.com Keyword Explorer. You could go onto Neil Patel's Uber Suggest, which is a free keyword tool, or you can go onto Google, you can type in your industry, and then you can also see the auto-complete searches as well. So for example, if you type plumber, you're going to see all these local searches that come up alongside that. And if you type in, for example, your industry and then your local area, you'll see a bunch of other keyword searches that you could potentially go for, because these are the keywords that people are searching into Google already to find similar services like yours. Now, the crucial thing here is that you don't just put your finger in the air and guess what people are searching for. You have to go after the data, look at the stats, look at what people are searching already, and then go after those keywords. Why is that? Because otherwise you will create content around keywords people aren't even searching. If you're just guessing and not doing the research up front, then you're creating loads of content around keywords that you don't even know if people are searching for, and you don't know if people are going to read the content you spend hours or even months creating for your website. And ideally, for every single one of your services, you want to create separate pieces of content. So do your keyword research around every single service that you do. So for example, if you're a landscape gardener, then if you work on gardening, if you work on mowing lawns, if you chop down trees, then search all of the services and do keyword research around every single one of those services, so you can create separate landing pages and get traffic to each one of them. So now, tip number 3 is to optimize your content and make sure that it ranks on Google. And the best way to do this is use a tool like Surfer SEO or Phrase.io, because these tools will reverse engineer what your competitors are doing. So if you type in your keyword into Surfer SEO, for example, it will analyze the top 10 competitors already ranking for that keyword, and it will teach you, right, for this article or for this blog, here's what you need to do. You need to write X amount of words, you need to include X amount of keywords, you need to cover these questions, and you need to answer these headlines. And basically, instead of guessing or manually looking through every single one of your competitors, you can easily find out all the content ideas that you need to write about for your blog or for your article or for your landing page, simply by plugging it through Surfer or Phrase.io. And this is easy. And if you're delegating your content writing to your team, maybe you've got a bunch of writers that work for you, you can easily create the blog outline on Surfer SEO and just hand that over to them, and it will save you a lot of time and research. Now, one thing you need to be really careful of once you've published your content is content decay. And that's why my 4th tip is to make sure that you're continually improving and updating your older pieces of content. Because the problem is that in Google's algorithm, freshness is a factor. And if someone publishes content after you have and they're going after the same keyword, then there may be some times when Google outranks your content for your competitor simply because that content is newer, it's more updated, it's more recent. So how can you avoid this problem? Well, what you can do is, if you have Google Analytics set up on your site, which you can do in a few minutes by downloading their plugin or installing some code to your website, and it's completely free, then you can go back and you can compare how your current pieces of content are performing now versus the last 3 months or the last 6 months. And the idea here is to figure out which pages are dropping in rankings, and then how can you update and upgrade that content to make sure that you restore your old rankings. And this is a continuous process, right? So it's not just like set it and forget it when it comes to writing content. You have to continually update it, continually improve it, and go back and work on what you've already published. And if you do that, then not only will your new pieces of content rank, but content pieces that you've created a year ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, are still going to be assets that actually rank on Google and still get you traffic. Now, the larger your site gets and the more pages you have published, the harder this task is going to be to manage. So what I would recommend is putting every single piece of content that you create on a spreadsheet, and then also have a column for the last time you updated that content. Because then you can continually see, right, I haven't updated this piece of content for 3 months, I need to go back, revise it, improve it so that it can improve in rankings. And the other thing I would recommend as well is scheduling in time in your calendar every 3 months or every 6 months to update your content, and to go back and look at, right, which pages have slipped, which content has decayed, and which pages is Google no longer ranking that I need to improve. And my final tip number 5 for content is to make sure that you're promoting it, right? So the problem with content promotion is most people spend 80% of their time creating the content and writing it, and then 20% of the time promoting it. And that's a big issue, because if you create a ton of content but no one sees it, then that content is wasted, right? So to get the biggest ROI, the biggest return on investment from your content, what you need to do is actually spend 20% of your time creating it and then 80% of your time promoting it, because backlinks are one of the most important ranking factors for your content on Google. Now, what does this mean? Well, Google sees links from other websites to yours as a way of verifying that you produce authoritative, credible, and trustworthy content. And the more authority your website has from backlinks, the higher your rankings will be. So it's crucial to promote your content and ask other webmasters to link to you. Now, how can you do this? Well, now what I would recommend is looking at who's linked to your competitors already. So where is your competitor getting backlinks already, so that you can approach the same sites and say, hey, I noticed you linked to Jim, maybe you want to link to me too, and here's the reasons why. Now you can easily do that by plugging your competitor's website into Ahrefs.com, looking at their backlink profile, and then going through all of those sites, reaching out to them and saying, hey, I noticed you linked to my competitor, maybe you want to link to us. Here's a piece of content we'd like a link from. Here's the reasons why you should link to us. Now, if you want more local SEO link building strategies, then check out my other videos, because I have tons of videos on my channel about exactly how to generate high quality free backlinks to your website for local SEO. Now, if you don't have access to Ahrefs, or maybe you want to do this for free, what you could also do is go into Google, type in your industry or your niche, filter the results by ones that have been published within the last month. And then these are all websites that are talking about your industry, talking about the topic that you've just written content on. And therefore you can reach out to them either via their website on the contact us form, or via cold email, and just say, hey, would you mind linking to us? And chances are some websites are going to say no, but also if you do this often enough, some websites will say yes. And that's an easy way to generate backlinks for your website and to get your content ranking. Because creating the content is the easy bit, ranking it is the hard bit. And if you build more backlinks, you're going to get higher rankings. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this video helped you. You now know my top 5 content tips for higher rankings on Google. By the way, I do run a local SEO agency. That's at goldie.localseo.com, and you can book in a free 30-minute consultation where we'll teach you exactly how to increase your rankings for local SEO, how to get more leads, traffic, and sales to your website, and how to outrank your competitors on Google. So book that in. That's at goldie.localseo.com. It's only 30 minutes, but it will change your business. Thanks for watching.